12 months ago, they were rude and aggressive.
See, this is why I fucking hate all this American shit, because you guys are fucking difficult with it.
Drug taking and binge drinking.
If I'm out and I'm drunk, I really, to be honest, don't give a toss.
Even violent.
She has thumped me.
Then they were sent away to an American desert camp to learn some hard lessons.
I'm just missing home so much.
Now they've been home for a year, but are they back to their bad old ways? Did Brat Camp work? In October 2003, a group of British teenagers were sent all the way to the Utah desert by their desperate parents. Now we catch up with 4 of them to find out about life after Brat Camp. Remember argumentative dope smoker James Fonfe?
Before I went in the relationship with my mum, it was a bit... It was fucked, really. Put it nicely.
Fran Bradley with her violent rages.
Ways in which I came across I'm not proud of, and I really wish I'd been different.
Depressed Dan Leary.
Some of us were actually going through a really, really bad nightmare, and it was really horrible.
And binge drinking Rachel Greenberg.
You can look at me and say, you know, she's not changed. But inside, I feel that I am like a completely different person now.
They were sent to Redcliff Ascent, a pioneering program in the middle of the Utah desert designed to turn bad kids into good kids the hard way.
It was just like, why the fuck did I get myself into this? How did I let myself get convinced to go and do this? This is the most stupidest thing I've ever done.
The idea is that teenagers used to getting their own way have to deal with a less indulgent parent, Mother Nature.
If you do wrong actions out in the wilds, the consequences are immediate and uncomfortable. So if you build a poor shelter and it rains, you get wet. It's nobody's fault but your own. You can't lash out and claim to be a victim because that's the way the world is.
There's no music, no fashion, no alcohol, and no drugs. And nowhere to run.
It was like, oh my God, you know, I don't know if I can deal with this.
Before they were allowed home, our wayward British teenagers had to prove that they'd learned some hard lessons. But had they? One year after Brat Camp, and it's morning in sleepy Marlow.
Can you just go and give me a quick wee, please?
There's one home where the middle classes aren't doing what you might expect.
This isn't something I enjoy doing. I think it's very humiliating, but I think it's necessary. Thank you very much. Good boy. Well done.
A mother drugs testing her son.
I'm always a bit anxious when I actually test it, until I have a result.
Why the lack of trust? Because a year ago, when James Fonfe's parents contacted Brat Camp, their relationship with their son had become a disaster area.
We are Christina and Michael Fonfe, and that is our little bundle of joy, James.
Don't say that.
Shush.
What happened you saying that about me?
We are Christina and Michael Fonfe, and that over there is our little shit, James.
We row like quite often, normally like just about like, stupid, shitty things.
His hatred is very much directed to me.
Fuck off, why are you laughing?
And he will stand about an inch away from my face, nostrils flaring, shout at you, you fucking bitch. And he will just be so foul-mouthed, he's unrecognisable. James does smoke dope,
Rah, rah, rah.
One of his friends is a dealer.
Sorry, just a text saying, want to share a spliff, my mum's going out.
My biggest fear as a mother is he's on a slippery slope. We want to help him because there's a good boy underneath the door.
It was quite interesting, actually, the number of people that said to me, "Oh, I can't believe that you would actually go on television." My argument was, then you've obviously never been as desperate as I was. We were desperate. To us, it didn't matter if it was going to be aired on television. We weren't doing this for comedy or whatever. We were doing it because we loved and cared about him, and at that moment in time, we had not been able to find anybody who was willing or knew the answers to put us back on track as a family. This was our lifeline.
Foul-mouthed, aggressive, and used to escaping into a haze of drugs. Would James Fonfe ever have got on that plane if he'd known what was waiting for him? First, there was the strip search and the drugs test. And then there was being sent out into the cold to have your last cigarette. It was only day one, but it was already too many rules for the boy who had only had one rule: never do anything without an argument.
This is actually shit. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but I fucking hate this. This is getting really, really crap.
First day, I wanted to kill pretty much every staff there. I wanted to kill people that got me there.
This is shit. And you lot go, yeah, rah, rah, freedom of speech. Bollocks to your freedom of speech, bollocks. Back at home. You make her take out that.
He shouted and he swore, but he didn't scare Redcliffe staff. They just gave James yet another order: hand over all jewellery and fashion accessories.
I'm not taking out my tongue bar. You can fuck off, all right? I don't want to do it. I'll go home. I'll do whatever. But I'm not taking out my tongue bar.
It can happen.
It won't happen.
It will happen.
It won't happen. See, this is why I fucking hate all this America shit, because you guys are fucking difficult with this.
We were not surprised by his behaviour at all. In fact, we were delighted that the rest of the world were actually seeing what we lived with on a daily basis.
I wouldn't even do it if the fucking Queen asked me to do it.
It's quite nice to see it go in a different direction rather than at us, at someone else. That was a great relief.
And out in the desert, James's outbursts didn't stop. If you swear at Redcliffe, you have to pick up a rock and carry it. A penalty which had no effect on James, who quickly became an expert in the local geology.
And I've got to carry that. That one's for saying fuck.
Yeah, I'll pick up a rock.
That one's for saying arse.
Yeah, I know. I'll pick up 2 rocks.
For Christ's sake, arse. Is that really a swear word?
I'm actually the only person who's actually picked up rocks over here.
Oh, and that one's for saying damn. Ooh. Everybody does it, so why is it such a big deal that I swear? You know, half the people that blatantly said that were sitting there going, oh, for fuck's sake, he's swearing again. It's like, well, they're doing it too.
But there was one of James's outbursts that shocked even him.
I was surprised, shocked. Did he really say, well, was he really going to do that? And it sent alarm bells ringing.
If it comes to Christmas Day and I'm still here and I haven't gone home and I actually have to spend my Christmas Day here, I'm going to write a letter to a mate and get them to fuck something up with my parents, because that's just fucking cruel.
He felt so angry towards us to want to do us harm.
We don't want to have that sort of threat hanging over us if we have another tiff.
All my mates picked up on that and they were like, I can't believe you said that about your mum. And I was like, well, I was really annoyed. And they're like, still, man, it's your mum. You shouldn't say that. And I was like, okay, fair enough. So I regret doing that.
It wasn't long before there were changes in James, thanks to Redcliffe's strict no-drugs policy.
For the first time, he was facing life as it really was. Up until then, he was in a drug-induced haze. Whenever anything was too much for him, he'd nip out and have a quick spliff.
So when James and his parents were finally reunited, had anything really changed?
Welcome home, son.
1 year later, and Mum Christina is waiting for the results of her random drugs test.
Yay, negative. It's great. It's actually been negative throughout the entire year, so I think it's It's good. I don't think we'll need to test him as often as we've been doing, actually.
Before Brat Camp, James would never have put up with random drug testing.
It's just purely to keep my mum happy and to keep her, like, I don't know, help her sleep at night, because she gets really worried about it sometimes.
On his return from Utah, James's parents sent him to a posh boarding school, fearing he'd revert to his old ways if he stayed at home. But after only a term, he was back, saying he didn't like it. But a year after Brat Camp, James has proved he's not going back to life before Redcliff. And his relationship with Mum Christina has improved so much that she's hired him as a part-time instructor at her swim school.
James actually qualified prior to going to Redcliff to teach swimming, but no way would I let him actually teach children at that stage. Coming back from Redcliff, totally different. His language is impeccable. He explains things very well, got a great sense of humour, and he's really confident and happy with them.
The mother and son who couldn't even talk are now working together.
Before, when we used to argue, it used to be like, fine, go fuck yourself, I'm not really bothered. Whereas now it's just like, well, I am bothered, what do you think, you know, I'll think about it.
He's a great son. No?
Yeah. He's actually fun to be with.
He's super to have around.
We really missed.
And they called it puppy love.
And there's been another spin-off for James. The publicity from Brat Camp has made him into a national teen heartthrob.
How a young heart really feels.
I've got loads of random emails from random people that I don't know. Someone says, I'm seriously in love with James. And you walk down the street or whatever, and like, God, my mate fancies you! Wow! And you're like, great.
Because we're in our teens.
My sister's in love with you, and those peeps from the school are pretending that they know you. You're like a god here.
Tell them it isn't fair.
I think it's absolutely bizarre, actually. But
I find it very amusing, and I'm slightly envious of all the attention.
It's fun. It's just like, it makes me laugh whenever it happens.
This is not a puppy love.
James is now studying for 4 A-levels and hoping to go to university.
We're Michael and Christina Fonfe, and that's our son, James. He's not a little shit anymore. He's my ray of sunshine. Why are you smoking that cigarette? Why are you letting him smoke a cigarette? Put the cigarette out. What a little rat bag.
So, how do you keep a load of troubled teenagers occupied in the middle of the Utah desert for weeks on end? Redcliff makes them hike for miles and miles and miles every day, carrying heavy packs.
I think the first time I picked mine up and nearly fell over with the weight of it.
I thought the bag was like way too heavy and it was just really stressful.
You have to walk like that. You can't walk straight up because you'll just fall straight over. Physically, it just does your back in, and then mentally, it just pisses you right off. Because you're like, what the fuck is this got to do with anything?
Hiking gives them time to think. They can think about why they're here, what they're going to do. It also tends to detox their system. All the stuff that's in them, whether it's the residue of drugs they've been taking, it all comes out of you, and it can make you sick and unhappy.
Unhappy? Asked British brat Rachel Greenberg. She was so unhappy she just refused to do it.
I thought, you know, I might be able to get home from this, you know, if I refused to hike. And then, like, I was spoken to by staff and they said, you know, you're not the first person to do this and you won't be the last.
How about if I don't want to do it?
Well, that's something that you're gonna have to work through that on your own.
Rather than force Rachel to walk, hike leader Black Wolf used a trusted Redcliff strategy. Sit and wait and let the peer pressure do the work.
It's so cold. Just get there and make the fire.
Please don't sit down, Rachel. Come on.
Well, here we go again. I'm begging you, because I'm really hungry and it's getting really cold.
At one point I did actually say to Black Wolf, can you just leave me here and I'll catch up with you?
Tell me which way to go, I'll meet you there, kind of thing.
It's not that easy.
It certainly wasn't easy. At last, Rachel got to her feet and managed to get to the other side of the road. After all, before she arrived at Redcliff, doing what she was told wasn't Rachel Greenberg's strong point.
Hi, my name's Helen Greenberg. This is my daughter Rachel Greenberg. She's going off the rails. She has, I think at the last count, about 18 piercings in various parts of her body.
I'm hopefully going to get corseting, which is where they pierce you all the way down your back and then put ribbons through it.
Oh, she comes home all hours, anything from 4 in the morning till 4 the next day.
She's called the police a few times.
She's got an outfit which consists of a bra and a pair of fishnet tights.
The lowest point was probably like a few weekends ago when I did end up in hospital.
And apparently the blood test had shown her drink had been spiked with coke, ketamine and I think speed.
If I'm out and I'm drunk, I really, to be honest, don't give a toss.
Rachel's going to Utah because I feel that if she doesn't go, she will end up either dead or in the gutter.
Rachel's hardest lesson at Redcliff came within hours of her arrival, when she was told she'd have to take out every one of her 18 piercings. Letting go of her armour wasn't something Rachel was going to do easily.
I thought, who are you to tell me what to do or how to dress or what piercings I can have?
It's not a case of I cannot take them out, it's a case of I don't want to take them out.
I understand that you don't want to. They are coming out, though.
Oh, you're physically going to have to take them out because I'm not taking them out. It's okay. The ones in my belly button, please.
No, you need to take
them out. They are covered up, so why would it cause any trouble?
I'm not really a very angry person as a rule, but it just made me really angry, and I didn't at the time feel that they understood me. They didn't understand why I had them and what they meant to me.
One of the reasons you're here is to find the real you. But Rachel is not pieces of metal stuck into your face and body. You're a lot more than that.
Redcliff staff never shout at their teenage guests, but they never give in to them either. It drove Rachel nuts.
That's what was really annoying as well. They didn't shout at you, but they'd stand there and they'd be like, we can stand here all week. And it just really got to me that there was no way that I could get my way like I normally do.
It took almost 6 hours, but the piercings eventually came out.
Okay, you're going to take that out. Thank you very much.
But the challenges didn't end there. For Rachel, used to doing whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted, the first weeks at Brat camp were very tough going.
I really don't want to be here anymore. I'm finding it really, really hard. And they're saying that if I don't do it, then they're going to make me do harder stuff. I'm really, really upset. I'm just missing home so much.
In one of her letters home, she'd written that she'd never cried so much in all her life, which obviously really, really upset me. I think on one of the programmes it shows me reading actually that letter out, and I couldn't even do it on camera. And she says she doesn't get on with anybody. And she's never cried so much in all her life. I'm sorry, Kelly. I can't do this.
But as the weeks went on, it became clear that Rachel was learning the key lesson of Redcliff, taking responsibility for what happens to you.
You just realise that you're there. There's nothing you can do about it, so you might as well make it a positive experience rather than being negative all the time about it.
After 2 months in the wilderness, Rachel confessed to Redcliff psychologist Doc Dan that she was getting really high, without drugs.
We climbed up onto the top of Tetons the other day, and like the view from there was brilliant. And I reckon that's like better than any drug I've ever done, just knowing that I had climbed it.
And towards the end of her stay, Rachel didn't have time to cry about her own plight. Instead, the girl who wouldn't walk was now helping struggling new recruits.
To be able to stand there and say to the people that had just like joined, to say, you know, you are going to get used to it, you may not believe me, but you will, it will become easier. It was just like, I couldn't believe that it was actually me saying that.
She looks like an Indian, Red Indian.
At her graduation, Mum, Helen, couldn't get over the change in her.
She looked beautiful, really beautiful. Her hair had grown, she was really healthy, sort of glow to her face, her eyes were shining and bright. She was just beautiful. I mean, even just talking about it now, it sort of brings tears to my eyes. You look so different. That was a Rachel that 2-3 years previous. She's back to that Rachel.
But 1 year on, Rachel's getting ready for a Friday night out, and the piercings are going back in.
Okay, bye. Bye.
So is Mum Helen back to watching her daughter disappear into the night without a clue what she's up to. It's called Sin City, and it certainly doesn't look like every parent's dream evening out for their daughter. But something has changed. Rachel's phoning home.
We're outside the club. I'm just calling to say that all is okay. I'm not quite sure yet, but we won't be home very late.
And something even more important has happened.
The drugs have like completely stopped. And I thought, you know, why am I smoking this shit? You know, why am I wasting my money on it?
We do still have our little arguments, but not about drugs and not about staying out all night, because when she goes out, which is only normally once a week, if that, she always calls me, which is really, really good. And I find that I don't worry half as much about her, because I know she's stayed off the drugs since she's come back.
One year on, Redcliffe psychologist Doc Dan is in London to check up on the British kids.
There she is. My gosh, it's so good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
That's what I hear. Please, come and sit down. Hi, Helen.
Right, get to meet at last.
We've never met in person.
No, just on the phone. Thank you.
Doc Dan wants to know if the changes in Rachel he saw at Redcliffe have survived life back in London.
I think back to some of the initial struggles that you had, and we discovered that very vulnerable little girl part of you that lived underneath all of that kind of gruff exterior that you were used to here, and you know how painful that was. But the amazing part was, from that very, very vulnerable little girl, became this incredibly strong young woman that emerged.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely did feel it. Like, you know, there'd be times when it'd absolutely be snowing down, and like the first few times the reaction was to just sit away and kind of try to not deal with it. But then I thought, you know, it could be worse. And so I learnt how to deal with situations as they came up, and knew that we weren't going to get hurt. You know, if anything too bad happened, then, you know, it would be dealt with, and the staff knew what they were doing.
Huh, well, at least you thought they did, huh? That part came through. Oh, yes, they do know what they're doing. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was good. There was nothing easy at all about Redcliffe for Rachel. And a part of that was she was not allowing the things that could have been easy for her to be easy. She came to the program and was initially victimized by everything. But I'm very gladdened by the experience I had with Rachel here today. I think she's done extremely well, and she continues to be very confident. Seems like she's got a nice plan for her life and is working through it, and is focused on achievement at this point.
Before she went to Redcliff, her mum thought she was going off the rails. But on her return, Rachel astounded Brat camp viewers by rejoining the police cadets and planning a career working with animals in the Royal Military Police.
Left turn!
And now she's taken another step towards that goal by studying animal management at a prestigious North London college.
Well done.
At first, her tutors were worried about what they might be in for.
During the enrolment process, Rachel came along to actually enrol for the course. We actually realised then that it was the same girl that we'd seen on Brat camp, and the lecturers during a tea break actually had a real giggle about it because we couldn't believe that we actually had such a delinquent student going to be starting on one of our courses. She's a completely different person to the person I actually saw on Brat camp. I think I can speak on behalf of all the lecturers and all the staff here that she's a really, really lovely girl, completely different person to who we saw on TV.
It seems that for Rachel Greenberg, Brat camp paid off.
So you can look at me and say, well, you know, she's not changed. But inside, I feel that I am like a completely different person now.
I think Utah and Redcliff have worked magic.
She was the one everyone had problems with.
Being with her for about 12 hours, I wanted just to smack her in the face and tell her to shut up.
That is a piece of absolute death! I don't want to eat this freaking food anymore, you put me off. We'll just go to bed, but oh yeah, my bed's here, isn't it, amongst you lot? I know full well that the whole group has an issue with me.
Everyone I've ever spoken to who's asked about Brat camp, always the second question, the first question is always like, you the boy from Brat camp, and the second question is always, don't you hate Fran?
Before Brat camp, Fran Bradley's violent temper was mainly directed at her mother.
You get so angry that you just pick something up and throw it on the floor.
I felt very, very intimidated by her. She has thumped me. I do feel abused by her.
I wouldn't say I was an aggressive person, but sometimes things get so hard so much that you find yourself doing things totally out of character.
I've actually left the house. On one occasion, I found an ambulance. She was just going berserk. I've been to the doctors, I've been to social services.
The GCSEs didn't go according to plan.
She was kicked off the course because of the way in which she challenged the tutor. When Fran goes on this wilderness therapy course, I want it to be a turning point for Fran.
And I just hope it doesn't go pear-shaped, really.
On her first night in Utah, Fran started by tearing down the shower curtain.
I know it's not worth it, but you just let me get changed and I'll go away. Okay. And then tomorrow I'll go home and then you'll have me up your head and you won't have a problem, will you?
Literally, I just didn't know what to make of the situation. That's probably why I was so kind of distressed.
And when the tantrum failed, she ran off.
Leave me alone! Please leave me alone!
All I could see was a brick wall of I'm stuck here and there's nothing I can do about it, because at that point there was nothing I could have done about it. Well, in hindsight, I kind of wish I hadn't reacted in that way.
For the next 10 weeks, Fran's moods were up and down all the way.
I know exactly what I've got to do. I've just got to stop being such a moody bitch. Hold on! I'm through with shitting behind a freaking tree. Through with everything.
It was very painful to watch her, but I wasn't surprised at all.
I'm just exhausted. It hurts so freaking much. I'm just pissed that we've been hiking for 6 freaking hours.
The ways in which I came across, I'm not proud of, and I really wish I'd been different. But I think you can't just look back and go, I wish, I wish, I wish. I mean, you just take every day as it comes, don't you? And I took every day as it came and screwed up.
She might admit that now, but when she arrived at Redcliff, it was a different story. Fran fell out with almost everyone, but it was never her fault.
No, once again, everybody versus me. Don't talk to me. What a surprise. Then I could have guessed that at any point. Why can't you all just tell people to not say hurtful things? You just stick together in your own little chummy group of 3 and there you go, we'll all be fine, won't we?
Fran clashed with everyone, but by far the worst conflicts were with posh boy James.
We just knew how to press each other's buttons. I knew exactly what would annoy him, and he knew exactly what would annoy me. Unfortunately, humans are humans, and they use those to their advantage.
Like from day one, you've just been going on about like.
Well, from day one, perhaps I found it hard.
No, you've just been like pretty much a bitch about
Guys, watch your language, man.
No, I haven't. I've been trying really hard.
She throws little pity parties. It's like, oh, it's not my fault. Oh, everybody help me. And she gets sick of it. You're getting on my tits, and so
say that.
So the basic
in
thing.
A nice way.
But if
Are
I'm
you
talking to
feeling
Dan, it's got nothing to do with you, and I don't really expect you to put in your side comments.
That's nothing to do with a side comment. That's reminding you.
And then you went temper.
Me and James, I'm sure he would never admit it, are just quite similar. We're quite strong-willed, we're quite opinionated, and don't really take any crap from people.
I think I was kind of, in a very small way, similar to Fran before I went. Because it was just like, it's going to be my way or nothing. But then I was only that way with my mum. I wasn't that way with everyone, where she's that way with everybody that she ever meets. The one thing that like really just kind of like really gets on my tits is that you'll get involved with people's conversations and that you will question stuff a lot, and that really does annoy me.
James knows everybody's faults except his own. He's angry, spoilt, a spoilt little rich boy with more money than sense. He's selfish, takes for granted his wealth and family love and money, and he sucks.
You're blowing the heat right out the bottom. Cup your hands
Things
tight.
began to get better for Fran when she turned out to be a natural at fire-making.
Keep going.
That's it, see? All right.
And by the end of her time in Utah, she'd learned some tough lessons.
All right.
People come here for different reasons, but the people that find it the hardest often learn the most.
To turn something positive from the negative, that was something that I don't think I'd seen too often before. So that was a good moment.
Everybody's wrong.
And on their toughest hike yet, a Redcliff newcomer who didn't seem to care how long she made the whole group wait taught Fran a hard lesson about her past behaviour.
But I can't keep moving.
Yeah, you can. Come on. You made it this far.
I know. I really wish I had never put you guys through this. It's so unnecessary.
And now I did definitely get something from that. It was one of the moments I had being that kind of, I'm so sorry guys, I didn't realise I was putting you through it so much.
Don't worry, man, it's cool.
If we all get, like...
Fran, come here.
The beginning of a beautiful new friendship for Fran and James, perhaps?
The first time and the only time he was ever nice to me.
But the challenges for Fran didn't end at her graduation from Redcliff. On her return to England, she was to find that behaving so badly on television had its price.
The people that will yell at you in the street and say, "Oi, brat," and then I'm referred to as Brat Camp. I'm not Brat Camp. I was someone that took part in a programme called Brat Camp.
I think she was embarrassed. You know, she couldn't walk down the street without someone having a comment.
It's not so great trying to meet people, trying to start afresh, trying to do something that you really want to do when it kind of gets in the way quite a bit, which I should have thought about more. I've said quite a few times I wish I hadn't done it, purely because of that kind of reason, yet who's to know where I would be now if I hadn't done it.
But, yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, we need to though, really.
It seems that despite the challenges, Fran's held on to the key Redcliff lesson. You're in charge of your own life. Now she's working 3 jobs and has moved in with friends. Leaving home has done wonders for the mother-daughter relationship.
Our relationship definitely has improved like tenfold. If I hadn't moved out, maybe not so much. But I think this is probably the most positive thing I could have done.
She still needs support, I think. Even though she's only 10 minutes down the road.
I think we've got the best of both worlds in a way. She's got her independence, but she's got her mum down the road.
But is living with Fran like living at Brat camp?
I'm used to her the way she is. Because she's one of those people, when she's in a good mood, she's one of the most amazing people in the world, who I love to bits. But when she gets angry and stressed, it is a bit annoying, yes, I will say that.
Oh, there they are.
At their meeting in London, Doc Dan is impressed by Fran's progress.
It would be very, very difficult to convey the amazingly heroic journey that Fran took out there. And nothing came easy for her. She had to scratch and claw her way through the program. And it was nice to encounter her today as that mature young lady that she is becoming. You know, responsibly separated from her mother and just making a life for herself that admittedly is not going to be easy, but she's up for the challenge now.
I think part of the reason I was such a mess was because I actually just spent all my time thinking about being a mess, and I had nothing to kind of focus on and nothing to aim for. That was half the problem, I think.
A lot of how things improve for Fran are down to Fran herself. She knows that. She knows that. And the main thing is that she's looking forward.
October 2003. When Ginny and Steve Leary said goodbye to their son Dan at the airport, it was a tough moment. But they were desperate. For 2 years, he'd been lost in a haze of drugs and depression.
I can't think of one ambition in my life. I can't think of a single thing. To me, recently, and it's kind of stuck into my head now that life's just shite, really. I'd wake up and I'd be crying already. I'd sort of have tears coming out my eyes when I kind of woke up.
For Dan, arriving in Utah was to be the beginning of an astonishing journey. At first, after a life of drug taking and staying in bed, everything was heavy going.
No, I'm just going to struggle doing it. I don't know, actually, I just can't deal with the cold. The food is disgusting. It's absolutely foul, and I don't know how I can eat it.
It's crap. It's just the biggest pile of crap. It's such a waste of time.
But as the weeks went on, Dan's comrades began to see a different Dan.
Dan's quiet, and I see him, like when I was out there, I always saw him as like the wise man one, who you could just like go, Dan, what do I do about this? And he'd sit there and stroke his beard and be like,
I just feel a lot more self-control and that I want to go home and do something. I want to be in some sort of fixed routine of some sort.
You know, really got mad, very calm, just very chilled out, thoughtful person.
I feel like I'm turning a corner every time I sit here and think about it, and I think about, wow, how did I end up here? I'm in a desert in Utah, surrounded by mountains, and that's enough for me as it is. That's enough for me to think, okay, what's going on?
Come on, good boy. Come on. How you doing?
In the end, Dan was one of the first British kids to graduate.
I'm tired.
Yeah. Oh, you've done so well. You've done so well.
Yeah.
But within minutes of arriving back in Surrey, Dan was plunged into the environment which his parents felt was a cause of his problems.
You know that the moment that he comes back and the friends are waiting to greet him and find out that someone will probably offer him a drink or a cigarette or even more. So all of those alarm bells are ringing for us. Well, they were here, weren't they, within 2 hours of landing. And he would probably say that we overreacted.
They're taking me to the chip shop.
Taking you where?
I'm going to the chip shop. So.
Can we have a little bit of... I think we're going to fall down a big black hole very fast, aren't we? It's as simple as that. I'm not having this, Dan. You cannot do what you've just done for 2 months and go straight back down a black hole, and that's what will happen to you.
I think my mum and dad weren't quite sure whether I was going to be okay, whether I was just going to jump back.
One of the things that I explained to Daniel when he first came back is we were going to start the trust at 0, but we needed to build it back up again.
They kind of were like, you kind of need to prove yourself again, and it did really, really piss me off.
You must remember to work together to get everybody over everything on this course.
When he returned from Redcliff, Dan spent weeks with the Prince's Trust and doing voluntary work. His parents feared that without the new activities and routine, he'd be tempted back to his old habits.
As soon as you step back into reality, all society's crap and pressure that teenagers everywhere have lands smack bang on your head. And I think we both realised how difficult it would be for Dan. And equally, it was difficult for us as well, wasn't it? Mm. Because it could so easily all slip back the other way.
1 year on, Dan's consistent behaviour has reassured his parents that the boy who graduated from Redcliff really is here to stay.
Yeah, spread that out that you've got in there.
He has proven that he is capable of being trusted again. I'm a lot more confident in him now than I was last year, a lot more confident.
The bit that's given me confidence and faith is that Daniel now smiles. Daniel holds his head up and he looks you in the eyes.
My relationship and with my mum and dad, and you can ask, any of my friends, they know it's probably around 100 times better, but they also know that really I'm 100 times better as well.
And what about the drugs that fueled his depression? Well, Dan claims his attitude to drugs has changed dramatically.
Ketamine is related to a drug called PCP.
In fact, he's now working for a drugs counselling group as an outreach worker. He's even training other drugs workers.
They'll go through the whole where they've had so much they can't actually really move, and they don't feel like want to move, and they just kind of feel like that. I was one of those people that went through a lot because of drugs, because at that time I did not know how to deal with myself. And there is always going to be just a small minority that are the same, and I'd like to kind of help them.
I think we both feel very proud of how much he's achieved and what he's doing.
For quiet, thoughtful Dan, it wasn't easy to cope with the aftermath of being depicted as a brat on television.
We were portrayed as brats. We were all doing whatever it is that we wanted to do, and we were, just being assholes to the people around us. But some of us were actually going through a really, really bad nightmare, and it was really horrible, personally, for us.
For Dan, it's the positive message of his experience at Redcliff that he wants to be remembered.
Mitchell Byrne for Modern Foreign Languages.
Now the boy who wouldn't come out of his bedroom is inspiring other troubled children. Today, he's giving out the prizes at a special needs school in Birmingham.
And it's all yours, mate, OK?
I was very, very lucky to be able to go on this experience of rat camp to help, sort myself out. If you'd have asked me at the time and I'd said, do I like it, I would have said no. I want to go home. But I look back on it and I will remember every single day of it. Because it was just absolutely out of this world. I mean, to be away from society, to have the peace and quiet. There's just like really small things where if you look up at the sky at night, it's absolutely unbelievable. And it was the most amazing thing ever. It's really good. It's